I'm Jim Park, the equipment editor with Heavy Duty Trucking Magazine. We're at the Fleet Forward Conference in San Jose, California. A little later on this afternoon, I'm going to be moderating a panel discussion featuring one of the gentlemen standing beside me, Bill Combs from Penske Leasing. How are you doing, Bill?
I'm great. Thanks, Jim.
Can you tell us a little bit about some of Penske's electrification initiatives and how they're going so far this year?
Yeah, the big thing we're working on right now is a co-creation project with Daimler Trucks North America, where we're deploying 20 of the 30 first pre-production vehicles that they're putting out into fleets. And so we're actually then taking those Class 6, 7, and 8 trucks and deploying those with our customers in real-world settings. And we're also working with a lot of other EV providers, such as Mitsubishi Fuso, Kalmar Ottawa, and some others that have actual production vehicles ready to go for the Class 5 through 8 truck market.
Okay. So these are your first real-world trials, tests, if you will, to put them out into the wild to see how they perform?
Yeah, that's right. These are, as far as we can tell, some of the first trucks in these weight ranges that are really out there. And so in the Class 6, 7, and 8, so straight trucks and tractor-trailer size vehicles, they're some of the first trucks that'll be out there, and they're out there now doing last-mile delivery and regional distribution with full battery electric vehicles.
Okay. Obviously, you've handpicked these customers, the fleets you're putting them into. Did they have any reservations or concerns going into this, like range or cost or weight or any of those things that are sort of normally associated with electric vehicles?
Yeah, I think there's always, everyone that we work with is in business to finish their routes during the day, and there's a serious focus on return on investment. So we can't have trucks that don't make it till the end of the day, and we have to make sure that all the right pieces are in place for these trucks to actually finish the routes, deliver on time, and do everything. We can't be disrupting their daily business just to show that battery electric vehicles can be used. So we put a lot of thought, a lot of work. We worked really closely with the OEMs to make sure we know what's going to happen before anything actually happens with those vehicles.
So in that Class 5-6 space, the EM2 truck, for example, what sort of ranges are you currently testing or looking at?
Right now, most of the EM2s are being used, and those are Class 6 and 7 vehicles. So they're being used for final mile delivery, a lot of business deliveries, pickup and delivery type in-city applications, and they could be ranging anywhere from 100 to 150 miles per day with a given vehicle.
That doesn't sound like a lot to an average truck driver,
yeah.
But when you look at the routes that those fleets do, that's well within that safety envelope, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So a lot of people would think trucks go across country and that's all they do. But there's a huge proportion of fleets now that operate well under 100 miles in a given route in a given day. And it's still long days and lots of starts and stops, a lot of lift gate cycles. So we're getting some really good real world experience doing 100 to 150 mile routes with these vehicles.
Okay. So once this particular little test phase is over, where do you go next? What's the next step in the process?
It's being prepared for production vehicles, and a lot of that is, one thing that's been interesting about EVs on the commercial space is it's not just about the vehicle itself. It's about the charging network that has to be in place for this to be a viable option for fleets. Yep. So we're doing a lot of work on that front as well, and we're building a regional charging network in Southern California so we can support this test fleet. But going forward, we'll have learned a lot about different types of charging equipment and the rates of charge and ranges on the vehicles and how that all works together to create a viable solution for fleets.
Good. Well, that's exciting. Look forward to the panel discussion this afternoon.
Thanks,
Bill.
Jim. Thank you, Jim.